Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
So welcome back, you guys. It's your girl Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat.
Hey Moni.
Hey friend.
Oh, I'm excited to be back.
You look cute.
Thank you, so do you. We both look very tropical.
I know.
It's giving florals and jewel tones, and it was because we've been off. Like, we took last week off from recording.
Yes, we sure did.
We didn't leave you without
an episode.
We would
never.
To. But yeah, so getting back in the groove of things.
I know, it feels good, friend.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. And what's even more exciting is that we're going to review a book, and we read a book this week. So we don't have to be super fake this week. So this is good news, you guys. In No Holds Barred, podcast powerhouses Mandii B and Weezy WTF, the unapologetic voices behind the hit show Whorible Decisions, now Decisions, deliver a raw, hilarious, and unfiltered memoir-meets-manifesto that redefines how we talk about sex, relationships, and womanhood. With raunchy storytelling, vulnerable confessions, and a hefty dose of humor, they challenge societal taboos and offer permission for readers, especially Black women, to own their pleasure, embrace their messiness, and stand full in their truth. So yeah, I'm excited because first of all, I know I've been a listener of the Whorible Decisions podcast, which is probably, I don't feel like that's something that I would have naturally navigated toward, but I feel like their chemistry as friends or frenemies or whatever you want to call them, and their candid conversations is definitely super entertaining. So I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think they're definitely the only sex podcast I listen to.
Yeah, for sure. So
because it's more than, it is very much about their personalities.
I'm
trying to even think about how I even started listening to them.
I don't know.
And it might have been from listening to The Read. Because they used to record in the same studio.
Oh,
I know
really?
that, yes. So because I feel like that was around the time I really started getting into podcasts.
Okay.
But yeah, who knows? They're in my life now.
They are definitely in life, and they've rebranded, so now they're Decisions. And I thought that was interesting too, because, I don't think I started listening right when they first started podcasting, but I know for sure, like, I remember them talking about, like, not wanting ads on their podcast and trying to keep it a certain way. And then also too, just the candid stories that they share on the podcast. And then as their podcast grows, how sometimes that was like tough when it came from a marketing standpoint, like in terms of partnerships and looking for sponsors and those kinds of things. And dating. Yeah, people, like when you're putting it all out there on a podcast, I think about this all the time because I always feel like there's this conundrum of creating content, of like being real, but also self-preservation, right? It's like I want to have authentic conversations, but I also want to strike the balance of keeping my own anonymity in my personal life, because I have kids, I have a husband, I have a family. So seeing them navigate that really tricky space has been interesting because I feel like you see the evolution over their podcast and in terms of what they want to share and what they put behind a paywall now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like...
And I think, it depends on, listen, I feel like it depends on where you fall though, because like if I didn't have, if I worked for myself, I think it would feel a lot different. But because I work in a corporate space and I am, I have to think about like if my boss came across this episode, if the CEO came across this episode, how does this reflect on me? And does this reflect the company that I work for? And would they be in a position to say like, we don't G for that. And we can't keep you here. Like I'm covering insurance for my family. Like the stakes are high. So I feel like if I
and your boy just cut Medicaid.
Listen, I'm just saying it's right. So it could have been like, well, just sign up for Hip Indiana. It's like, well, that might not even exist anymore. So, so not only is this a conversation about navigating your own sexuality,
it's definitely
these sort
a
of
book
stories.
I wish I could have read when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of this stuff is just sort of trial and error. I think a big advantage that like things are like, it's just as time goes on, things get harder and easier. You know what I mean? So
True.
I think for this generation, like dating is always going to be hard, especially heterosexual relationships because women are so different.
Yeah.
But you're also, now you've got the internet. is now a part of
internet
your
is the
dating
worst.
life.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, but at the same time, you also, I think having podcasts in my life that I listen to have given me so much more perspective, especially my own relationships and my standards. Like, I'm like, no,
Amen.
that's why the read was so important. It was just like, just break up with that nigga. Like, this
Man,
is so.
the read is like y'all don't understand. The read is like.
And I get it. Like, they made some, I know a lot of men who are just like, man, they just kind of hard on straight. It's like,
you really know who's really?
I'll tell you off air. I've heard this from other people you know. But like, yeah.
I mean,
they're never lying though. And
No,
I think
right.
hearing a queer perspective on heterosexual relationships has
It's
been very
interesting.
valuable.
Yeah.
Like, just an outsider's kind of vengeful. And it's like, I love when
Wow.
Kid Fury was like, you should kill these niggas. Like,
he's like, how are y'all even interfacing with them? I don't understand how you're doing it because they hate y'all. That's how it feels, though. That's the yeah, like that's
and
the
he's like,
vibe.
y'all dealing just the and I mentioned in the live about Pop the Balloon, and just when I hear so many people when they talk about like their deal breakers or hygiene, I'm like, why does that even need to be said? Like,
Because they are, though. The deal breakers are hygiene, and that's sad that you have to say that. Like, your fingernails cannot be dirty. You have to
Then,
brush
like,
your
pop.
teeth.
Like-
Right. It's like you have tartar around. I can see it from here. Like, the balloon is popped. And it's, I mean, like, at the end of the day, to me, that show in particular it's like, it's not the best of dating. Like, I feel like at this point, like now it is sort of like a sensationalized, or you know what I mean? Like, of course it is, and it's what it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, the fact that I have to say, like, I need you to wash your ass, or
else.
not or else. There is nowhere else. It's done. Like, it's
Or
not even
else I'm leaving.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I can't stick around for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just gets mean and petty too, though. Like, you see how like some people are on there and it's like, bitch,
Yeah,
come on
you
now.
here talking
You know
about
what
her
I'm saying?
lashes and stuff. Like,
Come
chill out. You don't
on,
care for
dude.
real.
Yeah,
You just feel
come on
insecure.
now. Exactly. So
Anywho,
I'm just saying.
It was but we should probably we should dedicate.
Let's dedicate this episode, you guys.
We're in deep.
We are. Okay, so hands over your hearts, everybody. So as always, we want to dedicate this episode to our patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you're interested in supporting our podcast, you should show up at Patreon/The Fab Podcast. Join our Patreon family. We have a $1 tier for general support. If you join for $5, you guys get 2 bonus episodes every month. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, candid conversations there. Also, we want to dedicate this episode, or I do specifically, to all the ladies out there. It's hard being a girl. And for all the ladies coming up after us, hopefully we're putting you up on some game. I feel like it's very important to share the knowledge that we accumulate over time to make sure that your time is a little bit easier than ours. I'm sorry that I feel like we're not necessarily leaving this place in a better place than we were before, and that you guys are still gonna have to fight for your rights. But hopefully hopefully we put you up on enough game to where you guys are able to navigate things as they move forward, because it's an uphill battle always, and you can't let your guard down. So there's nothing more feminine than that, or more. I feel like that's the most womanly thing. Feminine. I don't even know what you call it, but I mean, like, being a woman. This is a theme that comes up a lot. So this is not something you're going to be able to avoid, I guess is what I'm saying. So, yeah. So
have fun with that.
Yeah, have fun with that, and we're here for you, friends. What about you?
Yes, and definitely want to make sure you they don't get around to outlawing birth control, because please believe that is step 2.
Yeah, it is.
But my dedication is going out to Indiana Black Expo, which is going to be this weekend, and the WNBA All-Star Weekend is also this weekend. So lots going on in Indy. I'll be doing a live paint Friday at the Cultural Arts Pavilion being put on by Authentic Arts. So yeah, if you'd like to come by and say hi, you should. And get a little art in your life, a little culture. yeah, dedication over.
Excellent, friend. Excellent. All right. So a couple of stats about the book we reviewed this week, you guys. So the publisher was Atria Black Privilege Publishing. The book came out June 24th of 2025. The actual book is 336 pages. The audiobook was was it 9 hours?
Something like that. Maybe a little over 6.
Hold on.
I can't remember
see.
exactly.
6. Hold up. I feel like it was longer than that. No.
Oh. I read it a while. It's actually been a couple weeks, so you know.
9 hours and 18 minutes, you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Oh, it might have been because I sped up part of mine.
You might have, yeah. So it's a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power, and I'm excited to get into it because this isn't necessarily. I mean, we did The Art of Seduction. That was a book we read. Sex with Kings.
Yeah.
What else? Is there any other sex books? Kinda.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wasn't that was it Sylvia's book?
Okay, yeah, because that was fiction.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So that was a sultry. Okay, yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Every once in a while.
We throw them out there every once in a while, but what
you
made
can make
you
the case Milk and My Coffee? It had
Milk
some
and
scenes.
sure did. The way that ended, friend. I love how you read that for us. I wish. Oh my God,
And
where are our
predicted
editors?
it. I also
you
won
did.
points for having predicted the ending too, because it was also
Jerome
very
Dickey.
trite.
Yes, it was. And it was funny to hear both of our authors sort of reference Eric Jerome Dickey. Also, they both referenced those books, and also Sister Soldier and her books and stuff like that.
Coldest Winter Ever.
Because those are the books that are the intro to like Black erotica, I feel like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I have to say, I have not read any of those other than Milk and My Coffee. I haven't.
Never.
Why?
Why?
Why haven't you? I'm asking you why. This is a real question.
So, I mean, I did read Zane.
Okay.
Yeah, I did read some Zane, but I don't think I ever really got past like whatever the first book was.
Okay.
I think I need more complex storytelling.
Okay. That's fair.
It
That is
wasn't
fair.
enough to really keep me engaged. And like I said at the time, once again, people get confused because I wear bright colors and I'm very bubbly. I'm not fun. I was reading like neo-feminist like literature, like, you know, Toni Morrison and Alice Walker. It was kind of a bummer.
Okay. That's funny because it's like the music you listen to is just the opposite. What a contrast, friend. You know?
That's really good storytelling though.
Okay.
The girls they're
Okay.
They're telling quite the
listen,
story.
They are. So, all right, so let's get into it. So give the people a little bit about our authors. I know that we know them from a popular podcast, which is Whorible Decisions. And they made the decision to change it to Decisions for marketing and, you know, you trying to get them people to pay that money.
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard, like when you're women and it's like, oh, we're talking about some hoe shit. So...
And it's a little ironic because they were trying to destigmatize it, but at the end of the day,
They won't let you. For the record,
we're going against millennia of patriarchy.
They're not. We're going backwards. So, but tell them about.
I think they're doing a good job, though.
They're trying. So let them know.
So yes, our first author, Weezy WTF, is a Pisces living between New York and Los Angeles with a corporate background. She never expected dating app adventures to lead her to becoming a full-time podcaster after opening the podcast production WTF Media. Its fast success grew to 4 locations in the U.S. and they often tour live shows.
They sure do.
She's like rich, you know, written multiple TV shows.
Man, Kenya Barris. She has the sex sell show.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of
she's
stuff.
Out here in these
and
streets.
a proud pet mama.
Okay,
I think that got left
her dog
out
is so
too.
cute
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Mandii B, also a pet mama. She got a cat. So that's the thing too.
Brody.
Yeah, Brody.
He's naughty from what I understand.
Mandii B, a former tax accountant, is a prominent voice within the multimedia landscape with a passion for educating and empowering women. She created and co-hosts Decisions, previously known as Whorible Decisions podcast, and she used to have the blog Full Court Pumps.
Yes.
Which was, you know, for the girls before Megan was the hottie coach.
Let's
she was just
go.
trying to
She was
teach you
hottie
how to
coach.
get flued out.
Let's go.
Yes. And it's for me what to me has been really fun about following them all these years is, like I said, you see them going from, still having day jobs and moving into podcasting full time, like taking that leap, and then now in healthy, happy relationships.
Yeah, good for
and
them.
like, to me, I think that's why it was such a good time to write a book, because not that you couldn't without being in a relationship. I'm still single. I think I could still write, but there is something there is something hopeful about, like, you can be your authentic self and find love.
Yeah, because that is the depressing part about it, when you feel like, oh, I'm being me and it's not going over well. No one's into it.
I don't know what you mean.
It's like, so no one, anyone? No, but, and I like that both of these ladies, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure when they had their conversation, I love hearing how they started the podcast, them just being like, we're both kind of on the same wavelength when it comes to how we date. We felt like outside of the normal sort of.
I think Weezy said, who's as big a hoe as me?
Right. She was like, Mandii, yay. And so, like, and even though they're really different ladies, like how that sort of was a through line in their friendship, but also too just their knack for business, both of them, because Weezy also now has a fitness studio in New York, and also Mandii has her own production company as well. So they're both, I mean, that's the thing that's really impressive too, because I feel like a lot of the time when you think about women who you are like, well, they're hoes or whatever, so I don't want to be offensive, an old lady. I don't know the verbiage, but like, you think that because women are out here living their lives and they're not necessarily, okay, I'm not locked in or whatever. It's like, you can't be successful, or the things that they're achieving aren't important. And I feel like, to me, that's the bigger story. Like, I think finding love is great, but to me, this whole story was like about eventually finding love for yourself. That's the most important part first.
The greatest love of all, even.
It's so cliche, and I think that they both kind of, end up going through a lot of stuff to realize, like, at the end of the day, you just have to love yourself and be willing to put those boundaries up on what it is you actually want. And I think a lot of what we think we want sometimes is wrapped up in a lot of messaging that is crazy, though. Like, the patriarchy is nuts. And
you think you've escaped it,
but
and
you'll
not. Be like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still stuff I internalize in the way that I'm a mom, and the way that I show up as a wife, a mom, or just a person in general, like, that is still kind of under the gaze of like what men think about how I'm showing up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't like to think about it like that.
Yeah, like you're not performing femininity correctly or something like that, where it's kind of like, how could I not? It's the same thing when we talk about toxic masculinity and this like fragile idea of what it is to be masculine. It can be that same thing where we're just performing these identities, these roles where we don't really have to if we're free. I mean, we're always talking about land of the free and whatnot.
But we're not, though, because that makes me think about the fact that they felt like they had to, and I mean, that might be self-preservation on some level for them to decide, like, let's make it decisions. Let's make it more like that is, that's always in the back of my mind when I'm thinking about how we're pushing out our podcast, because we are women, and there is a certain distastefulness that business and that like people have for women who are just like,
hey, we're not trying to be a pygmy.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm out here, and I mean, I want to still keep that authentic energy, but at the same time, like,
not scare people.
Right, because at the end of the day, if the point is to sell this thing, like to be commercially popular, like, you do have to kind of keep that in mind, which sucks because a lot of it has to do with like, I don't know. I don't know, you guys who have podcasts out here, do y'all feel like y'all have to, I feel like by the content that they're creating, I can say they don't probably feel those same parameters, because they out here just talking about whatever the fuck they want to talk about in real time.
I think men and women have different societal pressures. I think men feel way more pressure to, if they have a podcast, make it super profitable. Like, to them, that is
these courses on how to, be the best.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Men say all kind of stuff. Don't nobody care. Like, even our president right now is talking about grabbing by the pussy. Nobody care. Like, men aren't really worried about, like, them.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
how they look. to other people, I guess.
Or they just know that there's going to be this wave of forgiveness. This whole boys will be boys, or, he was just, joking around, blah, blah, blah. Where no one's ever like, girls will be girls. That's not a thing.
No, it's not. I wish we had that a little bit, though.
Actually, I saw a really funny sweatshirt. I'll see if I can find it. Maybe if I do, I'll put it up. If not, you guys are fine. I'll describe it well. But it's a picture of this painting. There it is. Okay, so this painting. Here we go.
Oh,
and then the caption said, "Girls will be girls."
Is she cutting his head off?
Yeah, Judith beheading Holofernes. It's actually a book from the Bible where Judith,
of course,
a young seductress slays a general sent to besiege her city, and
seductress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was going after her. Like, that's okay.
The undercurrent of the story was like, she was like, "Hey, come rest in my tent," and he was like, "Okay," and then she gave him something warm to drink. The subtext is, and then she, slept with him to knock him out, and then kill him.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay.
But that's a fun painting.
Okay.
And yeah, that was the only
Girls
time I'd ever
girls.
seen that ever in print where it said "girls will be girls," and that was
We'll just cut your head off.
very funny to see. But there isn't that forgiveness for women's behaviors and actions and words the way there is for men.
You're right. And then a lot of the time too, the expectation is like, once a boy has been a boy, now I have to stand up here as a grown woman and stand next to you while you explain why you're sorry about being a boy. Like, I'm thinking about Hillary Clinton and other political figures who are in a position where it's like, now I got to stay. So in order to be a good wife and a good supporter, I have to like stand by you and while I'm being humiliated.
Yeah, take that gut punch on stage. And whereas men are very much looked down upon for
are you
staying
kidding me?
with a woman you're a cut.
Period. Like, you're looked at like, dude, you still wear, she's a piece. Like, there's no way. So all right, so let's get into the actual book, you guys. Okay, so this book, Duo Manifesto, I really like the way that they formatted the book because it went back and forth between Weezy and Mandii, kind of doing different chapters, and every chapter kind of started off with them saying like patriarchal bullshit, and then the matriarchal response to that, and then like they had their own little quote. I thought that was really cute. I really liked that.
They had these little historic quotes and stuff like that.
And there were some good ones.
There were some very good ones.
So I really liked that.
There's one thing I really do appreciate about both of them. They're very funny.
They are.
I think that's what makes the show palatable. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a serious show about sex. It's very much about, because sex is so squishy and ridiculous.
It is. It's kind of gross and like, what now? What? What? But yeah, like, I really liked their choice to kind of do that too. And I think I was surprised by the self-helpness of it all. I wasn't expecting that. I just thought it was going to be more just, they talk very candidly.
More like short stories?
Yeah.
Okay.
More of just short stories and stuff like that. I didn't know that they were going to be giving us like actual advice. But it was nice.
Which is why I said I think I would have liked it when I was younger.
Yeah.
A lot of this advice would have been so great for like teenage cats.
So tell me, what was some advice that you thought was solid that they passed on?
Going to Planned Parenthood. That was like really good advice.
This is what the kids do now.
Yeah, that would have been good to know. The idea of having discussions with your partners about what you do and don't want. And the fact that you're able to say yes and no. Like, for the longest time, I thought that a lot of times just being alone with a man is just giving my consent. Like, that's the whole thing.
I feel like that is the unspoken sort of agreement that everybody kind of thinks, though.
Yeah.
That it's like, no, though.
Yeah,
I can change my mind once
I feel like after, not just this book, but their whole podcast, like, I feel like, no, I don't have to even have a reason why. Like, if it's just no, I don't have to give another excuse or
you're already here,
ego soother or anything like that. Like, sometimes it's just not.
Unless, of course, you're trying not to be murdered.
We'll see. So, like, sometimes
I'm just saying. You might be in a situation where you might have to do an ego soother until you get the hell up out of there.
That's true. Or just, I usually keep a stun gun on me too.
That's so sad.
Well,
I just want it to be better than this. This is so
It's
sad.
not, though.
It's not, though.
it's not, though.
So that's what we're speaking to. That's what
and
was
you know
crazy.
what? I noticed they started selling stun guns at the beauty supply, too.
What?
They know what we want.
Oh, wow.
Ponytails
well, they got to be
and
everywhere.
stun guns.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
and the chapter on if I can't please myself, then how do I expect you to please me?
I liked that. That was a good
and
one.
that was the other thing too, because I did grow up with such a stigma around masturbation.
Well.
And have even had adult partners who feel like masturbation is wrong or gay. So
What?
this is the problem when we don't have real sex education.
Wait.
Because that's ultimate, like I said, a lot of times they've described themselves as, yes, Moni,
Professor, how can one be gay?
with yourself.
Yeah.
Well, because you're the same sex as yourself. So
I want to close my computer and thanks, guys. This has been
What
the
a great
Fake Ass
show.
Book Club. I mean, in my mind, that sounds so ridiculous, though.
But this is a very common, like, this is not.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard
This is a part
that.
of purity, but you didn't grow up in purity culture.
I did not.
So purity culture,
Whoa.
and, like, this is really common too with like Mormons and stuff like that. Because even
The soakers, really?
yeah, because like when
Jump
they go
on
on,
the
their
bed.
missions and stuff like that, you're not allowed to close the door even when you go to the bathroom. Like they are on
That's
it. Like
disgusting,
it's
though.
also yes.
That's very.
And
what?
if you have a proper sexual education, you know that this is also a type of abuse.
Yeah.
And control. You're basically in sort of this weird sub-dom. You're in a non-consensual sub-dom relationship. Because in sub-dom dynamics, you're like, yeah, you can't come till I say so.
Yeah, Weezy got into that in her
Yeah,
chapters. Yeah.
But it's fine under consent.
Right.
But non-consensual, that's when everything becomes bad.
Oh my God.
I was so happy when consent was invented. That's one of my favorite inventions of the past couple years.
Oh my gosh. It's super crazy. Okay.
But what were your faves?
I really liked her chapter on why do you need me to need you? Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Okay, so was that chapter 17 then? Mm-hmm. So chapter 17 was one of my favorite ones because this
That's
is
a
something.
Mandii B
Mandii
chapter.
B's chapter, yeah, was one of my favorites because it is something that I have wrestled with, I feel like my whole life. Because it kind of gets into gender roles and like what women are expected to do and then what men are expected to do. And I always have found it extremely ridiculous for, I don't know, like I get, like we all want to feel needed, right? Like I like the way that she sort of parsed all of that out and laid it out because for me, it's way more of a compliment to be like, I don't need you, but I really do want you to be here. I don't want to think about my children like being debilitated because I'm not here. Like the whole point is to get people to a point where they know that your life is still important, even when the people who you love and who you care about aren't necessarily directly in your life anymore. So I thought that was an important message, and I liked the way she was saying it.
What happened in the book though was Mandii. She talks about her relationship with, what did she call him?
It was her first boyfriend, like her first like
real
true,
committed
actually,
relationship.
yeah, like the first person she was in
But
love with.
she called him, was he Beard? No.
Nah, it don't matter.
Well, anyway, but yeah, basically her dude, the big narcissist, basically they got into it, because this is what narcissists do. They constantly break up and get back together with you to keep you off kilter. Once again, that would have been great to know.
Right.
So,
it's like, oh my God.
but she was just saying one time when they were talking and she was telling him, it's like, I don't need you. And he was like, what do you mean you don't need me? And she was like, yeah, I want you, but I don't need you. And then just about when she was telling that story to her friends, people were just like, well, do you understand how crazy that sounds to him? But I was like, to me, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously we made it this far in life without each other. Like, we've obviously don't need.
It's so ego driven, like to feel like to want somebody to feel like they need you is more of to me, more of a reflection of your own insecurity.
You need that control.
Yeah,
it's about
you want-
control
yeah.
to me. That's what it sounds like to me. And that's why I was like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's extremely unhealthy. But she was saying like once they had that conversation, she was like, we literally had a conversation about it probably every week until the point we broke up.
Yeah.
Because it was like once that came out, it was like we couldn't undo it.
But
like,
that
he
is
couldn't
the advice
do
they
it.
give you though, if you're like trying to land a man,
What's
make
that?
him feel needed. Like, you have to do that whole thing. It's like, oh, will you show me how to do the da-da-da? And did you ever watch Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
With Scarlett O'Hara. And she was like, why does a girl got to be so silly to catch a husband? She's like, can I put my hands in your pocket? Like, she's doing all this little stuff, but it worked.
You want me to be some dizzy? Yeah, it's like, I mean, and that's the part that I'm saying, like, I've just always had trouble with that. Or just being relegated down to just like, oh, you know, your job is to, you know, come in and like make me feel good about myself, or
just be tits on toast.
That's it. And it's like, I mean, I will genuinely give you feedback on how you make me feel, but I'm not getting ready to pretend like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want you to either. I'm not saying, listen, I know I'm not an easy person to impress or be. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna lie to you about it. No. I'm not about to be sitting here pretending. I mean, I may not say anything, but I'm not going
You're not gonna
to.
Be like, oh, yay.
No, if you're gonna ask me, I'm gonna tell you. So don't ask me if you don't want to know.
Like, why are these diamonds cloudy?
Right, what are these? Right, like, so I thought diamonds supposed to be sparkling. Yeah, if you're asking.
There might,
Yeah, so.
But I do know that is, if you're just playing the game though, that is something that works. If you're just.
Of course. And I mean, like, I do think that there's, but also too, it's like, who are you trying to catch though?
Well, I mean, because
if you're just trying to catch any old body, you need to make.
If you're listening to, you know, the interwebs and the social medias, you want to catch a high value male.
Ooh, what is that?
And
what's a high value male?
So,
in your estimation, what is a high value male?
Actually, I never got the definition. I just heard the red pill guys talking about it.
Should we Google it?
Yeah, maybe we should ask. That's
ChatGPT. Yeah. What is a high value man? Question mark.
Use the AI to help us out.
There's advice floating around the internet that seems less controversial and more realistic. Become a high value man. This has been the subject of YouTube videos, TikToks, and podcasts. Well, here we are, and viewed literally billions of times. Okay, so what is a high value man? High value man is a vague term for a man who kicks ass in their career and social life. As the name implies, it's a man who brings something to the table in the facets of life in general that boils down to a few basic traits: making money, having a strong network of peers, and being useful to others.
Okay, and who coined
the term? Unclear. But one guy who has played a key role in popularizing it over the past couple of years has been Kevin V. Samuels, influencer and image consultant, who is now passed away, whose relationship advice on social media polarized the internet. So I mean, I don't know what it is. I think it depends on who you are talking about. But like, if we're reducing ourselves again down to, you know, our genitals and just our paychecks, like, I don't like that though. I don't want to be reduced down to the housework I can perform or how cute I can look to make you look better, or, you know, just be quiet and be cute. Like, I'm too opinionated. I'm not gonna do what I don't want to do, and like, I'm stubborn. So I just feel like that. I don't even know how I have a husband. Probably because I met him young, maybe.
Or the fact that these things, as far as, like I said, when we're looking at social media and what people say they want, because sometimes what you say you want is very different from what you actually want.
Experiencing it.
Like, that's I think that's why we love dating shows so much.
Maybe.
Have you been watching Love Island?
Nope.
Oh man. So by the time this comes out, the last episode will have been aired. So
okay. I ain't seen it.
I think it's gonna be Huda and I can't remember that dude's name. But I wanted it to be Shelly and Ace, but they got voted off.
Ooh, see. Will it be like that?
Man.
It be like that.
But anyway,
okay.
Yeah,
high value men, I feel like these are terms that we use on the internet that just end up, And speaking of pygmies though, like, not to say, I feel like, so I feel like both of our authors had sort of spaces in their lives where that's where they were. I think we all do. Like, I think that's the relatable part about it, because I think being a woman, internalizing like your sexual power, like especially because a lot of the time when you're coming into that, it's, I don't know, like a lot of people, it's coming to you at a very, I thought it was interesting. So like trigger warning also, guys, we're gonna be spoilers of the book, but Mandii talked about how like at one point, you know, she was like felt special because she had never been sexually abused that she knew of or whatever, and then she had this sort of experience on a train where a guy had his whole dick out, rubbing it on her on the train and stuff, and she was so mad at herself because she thought like if this ever happened to me, I would react in a certain way.
Like
and
she thought she would cuss him out, but instead she ended up crying,
freezing, and that does happen, and it's hard to explain when it's you when that happens. But I thought that was really interesting because then it was like she got a phone call from a detective asking her about this person who she didn't remember, but this was like a sexual encounter that happened. She was like 8,
real young.
Yeah, like 8 years old, between 6 and 8. And then he's reading a police report where she was giving her like statement to the police about this guy like jacking off outside of her window in front of her and her cousin. And she had completely blocked this memory off, like did not remember it, to the point where even talking to her mom about it, her mom was like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. Because we had like just tucked that away. And how we as women, or not even, I don't even want to say as women, because this happens to men all the time too, you know, and if we don't feel like we can talk about it, you know they don't feel like they can talk about it, but just how like we're all holding these weird ass sexual memories and like interactions with people when we're younger, and like what do you do with that, and how that manifests itself in actual relationships as we get older, and how do you navigate that? So
how do you navigate that?
I don't know, but I feel like they were extremely brave to like talk about this shit, because it's not easy, and I would venture to say that like more people than not have these experiences and never fucking talk about it
because they get shut down.
You get shut down.
You immediately get told, well, first you're
attacked.
Let's
talk about it, because as soon as Mandii, this is, and I'm glad you're saying that, because this experience happens, and of course like some of the women on the train, like once she said what happened, you know, they're like, let's go back and find him and stuff and whatever, and they didn't. But she calls a friend of hers, and a guy friend, and tells her about this, and the first thing he says was like, well, what was you wearing? I'm so bored with that.
Yeah, it's this whole thing of
Seriously?
like, well, did you not take the precautions to keep this from happening to you?
Oh my God.
And it's...
and these are your friends, these are your homeboys, these are it's like, these are our uncles, these are our brothers, these are our cousins. Like, I think that if there was more conversation around, or even just, you know, like to Mandi's point, like you're not always able to, in the moment, parse what's happening because it's so fucking unbelievable. Like, I mean, you're like, I can't even believe this is happening. So I don't even know what to do with this. And if I were to tell somebody,
acceptance.
No, it takes forever. And then even after it happens, a lot of the time just burying it is the choice, because you're like, if I say this, and let's just say, I was drunk when it happened. Let's just say, I had on my cleavage was
the city
out.
meat was sitting.
It was meeting. So now now I deserve it? Like, I just...
You know what I think, though? I had this thought the other day, and it just came to me.
Okay.
And it's this, and I think it was when, what's his name, just got off.
Did he?
Yeah. And on the more serious charges, right? And people brought up the fact that the jury was like 8 men, 4 women.
Okay.
And I think that the reason why, so we infrequently get justice by, once again, we have a very patriarchal justice system. But also, I think men are inclined to protect other men in sex crimes because they personally know how weak they are when it comes to sex.
Oh.
And so there's a certain compassion that they have for other men who have slipped up when they've been sort of under the influence of sexual desire. So there's this sort of thing been like,
that could be me.
Yeah, that could be me.
Wow.
And so there's this whole thing of like, well, it can't be bad. You know, it can't be that bad because, and like
we all do it on some level, kind of.
Yeah, and so I think that is why a lot of times it's very, very, like I said, even up until like the highest government office is someone who is a known sexual assaulter. And people don't care because they're like, well, he just assaults women, and they, women are sexy. They've got it coming.
Yeah, they do.
So,
they have, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad. But yeah, like I think that chapter, and then I'm thinking about like my own personal experiences. I'm thinking about people I know, men and women who've been in situations where it's like, yeah, like that was crazy. And then like after it, it's like there's no.
Yeah, because what do you do? Like, were you gonna go to the police? Like what? Like that's not gonna help.
And then when it's a family member, when it's a cousin or somebody close to you or something like that,
principal, like you know what I mean? Like when it's a beloved figure in the community, and then they're just like, we've always kind of known you were a little slut, so maybe you shut up. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot.
Notes.
That's the energy.
Yeah, that is.
And I think that's also. I feel like that's why I've always enjoyed Weezy and Mandii, because they've been a big part of me decolonizing my mind. And a part of that was sort of getting out of purity culture. Because like I said, there's this idea of somehow this pleasure you're seeking is sinful, or that you're feeling is sinful. So you should always try to, as soon as you're starting to feel that, press that stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't get that's
I think
evil.
that is what leads to some weird shit though.
Exactly,
in my mind.
because you can't. It's like when you try not to eat. You know what I mean? Like
that sounds crazy.
But that's been like some cults do that, where they try to be like, oh, you don't need to eat. That's part of gluttony. Like you can actually just
like
use rays from
lady?
the sunshine. Well, she was just dieting. There's some people who try to say like you don't need to eat at all. Like you can just get rays from the sun and that can nurture you.
This is why y'all need to read and stuff.
And then they started to
die.
Yeah. So, but yeah, getting out of this idea of somehow it's on you, the victim. Like you didn't do enough to mitigate, instead of just ever for once, because like I said, these guys, they don't want to admit like, I could have done that, or somebody I'm close, my son could have done that.
Yeah,
or my
for sure. And the thing is like, again, we talk about this a lot of the time when we talk about canceling people or whatever. Like I understand how the messaging that you get can be wrong, and what you're taking in, or even what you've grown up around or been socialized to think is okay. But there has to be a point where there's some people out here saying like, nah, that's the line right here. You know what I'm saying? And
bare minimums.
The bare
just
minimum.
bare minimums.
The bare minimum is real sad. But like them sharing, because both of them, so there was a lot of trigger warnings in this book, because both of them talk about sexual assaults. One of them was real crazy because it was like Weezy was like, I knew the guy, we had consensual sex, and then it turned real crazy, which I was like, yeah, that's wild. Because you're like, I thought, I mean, that's really crazy. And then with Mandii, she was a young kid when it happened, didn't even remember it, and then she was in the subway, some weird guy. It's like,
and the stealthing.
Yeah, and
that's
stealthing.
I actually learned from their show.
Let's talk about it. Maybe y'all don't know about this.
I was like, oh shit. Like I didn't know that's like, I knew it was messed up, but I didn't know it was a crime. So for people who don't know, stealthing is basically when you've agreed to have sex with someone with a condom, and during sex they take the condom off without telling you.
Which is really messed up, because especially with the abortion laws being the way they are now, and my life could be at risk. You got to be kidding. It's already at risk, me doing this. So
this is already just so messed up. So yeah, like having like those conversations, and knowing that it's like, this was more than just him being like, that
you're
was,
gonna be mad.
That was like, once again, that's an entire violation of informed consent. Because it's like, you're not supposed to do that. Nope.
Don't do that.
Nope. And then it does lead to sort of, like I said, anxiety around future sexual experiences.
Absolutely. That's traumatic. Because you're like, I can't. I mean, you already have to let your guard down to be in a situation. And that's the other thing too. It's like, okay, I'm already a woman in this situation who can be overpowered. So I'm basically giving
upper body strength.
Yeah, like I'm basically saying like, okay, I'm putting myself in a position of vulnerability with you right now anyway. And then it's like, you're going, I'm gonna now, it's gross.
Yeah.
But don't do that.
But once again, really appreciate them having these conversations
for sure.
and removing the stigma around them, instead of just acting like, oh, it's like, well, I never even touched a penis until.
I mean, they talked about it. I said, oh,
all the Pound Town things.
Yeah, so I'm talking about if you want to get into it, they really do get into some stories. But one of my favorite stories was Mandi's story when she was in Cancun. Like, she went on her trip.
That was a good story.
Her unicorn trip.
I remember that one from the show.
I do too.
Okay,
I do too. That was
the
good.
only thing that I would say was a minus for me was that
some of them you already knew.
A lot of them I already knew, but that's just my fault for being a super fan.
Right. Okay.
Like, if this was all fresh, it would have been just top tier.
Oh my God.
But like I said, some of this was just like, oh, like, yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah, I remember this. Once again, told well.
It was very, very good. So her unicorn story, so she had a threesome in Cancun. She met this couple and like spent some days with them. Cause she was, I think was she fresh off her breakup and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take myself on a trip.
Solo trip, do the stuff that people talk about me when
I'm
I
gonna eat, pray, love, and do all the things. And then she got to have this really cool experience. I thought that was dope. And then, let's see, what was one of my favorite Weezy stories? Favorite Weezy story.
I actually really liked hearing about her relationship with Scissors.
Yeah,
like,
she was
always
sweet.
mentioned
She
it
sure
on the show,
did.
but I never really knew the whole story behind them and stuff like that. So I really appreciated that. I think I was telling you, like, when I was listening to the book, Weezy's chapters were my least favorite.
But why?
I'm not even exactly sure why.
Really?
Because I was even telling you, like, I like them as a duo. And maybe that was the problem. Like, I needed both of them.
Okay.
But even though I think I just prefer Mandi's style of storytelling better.
That's fair.
And sort of her thought processes and...
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
like to me, she was just easier to read. So a lot of times, like Weezy stuff, I'd have to speed up a little bit.
Okay.
Because it was just some of it. I can't even put my finger on what was bothering me, but something about it was. I don't know if it's just the way she reads instead of talks.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Because usually when she's just talking, it doesn't bother me.
Really? But it was like maybe just the way she was reading. Okay.
I don't know. That was weird because I wasn't expecting to feel that way.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's interesting just how different they are. Because, just even their backgrounds are really different. So, Mandi grew up single mom, 3 sisters, dad was in and out. She saw her mom be in a lot of really toxic relationships. So, I mean, you see directly how that influenced the way that she felt about relationships, the way she related to men, what she expected from them, and money. And the same thing with Weezy. Her parents are still married, been in love. Her mom was like a stay-at-home mom and wife. She describes her as like a Studio 54 girl. So she was kind of a party girl or whatever, bagged her a rich Jewish guy, and they, had a baby or whatever, and really, came upper middle class.
I think he bagged her.
Probably both. Yeah. I mean, they both. I would venture to say,
yeah,
they both got what they wanted out of that situation. But but even just how like her having that background didn't save her from air quotes being a hoe. Like, you always attribute somebody like Mandi not having a dad around being a hoe. You can kind of be like, oh well, obviously she was kind of like looking for a daddy type shit. But it's like, how do you explain Weezy's ass?
Right,
her daddy was right there.
I remember earlier in the show when they used to have like Andrew Schultz on and stuff like that, because they would always try to say that. But they're like, I mean, but what about me? I mean. No.
My daddy was at home. He's still there.
And I think this also gets into the red pill, like manosphere stuff about like there's these different tiers of women basically, and who deserves what. And it's just like, no, like no matter what, like I won't say that.
You should say it.
It's like, no matter how good you think your girl is, somebody slutted her out. So
right, or you're saying slutted her out, so you're saying you're trying to be palatable to them, but it's like my legs have been open to someone else other than you.
Yeah,
men don't want to have to think about that. It's very hard for them. That's why you have purity culture,
because
it's like you need me to be
great for the manosphere guys, because it's like you've kept yourself pure, and then I don't have to worry about any sexual competition.
That's the part y'all don't want. You don't want to know that you're trash compared to somebody else, probably. It's like, yeah, somebody else did it better, probably, but I'm here. I'm choosing to be here. I'm willing to give you notes if you want to listen.
You know what I mean?
It's not, but that's what it is to them.
You know
I feel
what
like.
I think it also points to?
What's that?
Self-hatred.
Of course, everything goes back to that.
Because if you're mad at me for moving the way you move, because I feel like the dudes who are like big on purity culture are always the biggest sluts.
Oh.
And so
That's a word. I need a fan. Where your fans at?
It is Sunday and I'm preaching.
Where your fans at?
Okay, I know you're hearing on Wednesday, but it's actually Sunday when I'm saying this.
Sorry.
So if you like variety sexually and you judge your girl for also liking variety sexually, you're judging yourself.
Yeah, but what if you don't like variety and then you're judging the girl? Is that more fair?
I guess.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Sure. But I feel like those aren't the really judgy ones, though. I really feel like the real judgy ones are the ones who
I don't know, friend. I don't know.
I
know a couple
the
who are
data.
like, I mean, but I agree with you. I think generally speaking, yes. It's the same thing as who was when Weezy was in her relationship with Beard Bay, she was saying like, they would, she's bisexual, so she was cool with introducing women into their relationship and stuff like that. But he was still like, that's the thing. I feel like I want ladies. This is something that I realized really early. It's like, people will say like, if you don't have sex with your husband, if you don't have sex with your boyfriend, your significant other, they will cheat on you. Make sure you don't ever have a headache. I remember getting those notes before I got married. Like, just always be
constantly drain his balls.
Just drain them constantly.
Yeah,
he'll stick around. But it was like, I don't feel like that narrative is true because I can point to several examples of people who were constantly busting it wide open for their significant other and still got cheated on. So how, Sway? So I would say to you ladies, your body is yours. I don't care if you're in a relationship. If you don't feel like it, you don't have to. And also too, not like, don't let it be like a punishment type thing. That's whack. You know what I'm saying? Weird. Like putting it up because it's like you're mad or whatever. That's one thing. But like, I do feel like if I'm not in the mood and I don't feel like it, and you think that doing it's gonna keep him around, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
And a lot of times it's
it felt like that's what she was doing.
Almost too. Like I think that I just remember times in my life where I've had sex when I didn't want to. Like it eats at you spiritually. I'll just put it that way. It doesn't feel
great.
Yeah, like having sex when you don't want to it's a bummer.
And it got to the point where I felt like I was like, damn, that's crazy because you're in not only just having sex with him, but you're engaging with other people and bringing them in when you don't really want to. Mm-hmm. And it's like there's just never a point in life where you need to be going that hard to keep no man around. Like there was like a element of thirst in some of her stories, which are, listen, and I'm not going to be judgy because I have witnessed it. There are people who I love dearly who I've been like, yeah, that's thirsty as fuck. And also I still love you, but I don't get it exactly, but
sure.
So we've all been there, but it's just like, you don't ever want to find yourself in a position where you are positioning yourself to be more palatable to a man, but you're like playing yourself internally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you should always, like if you're engaging in a threesome, it should be because you genuinely want to be in one. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be because you're trying to impress.
Quote unquote, keep them.
Yeah, keep them or whatever. Yeah, that relationship was really, that one got me because I was just like, that's crazy. And she stayed in that for a long ass time.
She did. But it was really interesting hearing her because I feel like, once again, listening to the podcast as the breakup was going on and stuff, it's interesting hearing like just the whole story all at once. Mm-hmm. That was very interesting. But yeah, and once again, noticing the parallels in my own dysfunctional relationships. Like once again, it's very, very easy to see in someone else and then bring back to your own life.
Yeah, it's very, very hard.
Because you're in it.
Because you're in it. So that's the thing. Nobody's perfect in these relationships, but also everybody's just doing their best, I feel like, for the most part. So it is nice to have ladies like this giving you game. I feel like this book is definitely, it's extremely candid. Mm-hmm. Like they are busting it wide open for you. Yeah. For sure. You can't, like, this ain't something you can listen to and your kids are going to be in and out the car. And you might not listen to it with even just your significant other because they could be, I don't know.
It could trigger some stuff. I mean, you have to have a very open, candid relationship. I find those are the relationships I admire.
Yeah.
When people are very honest with each other.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, like I said, just, purity culture is the worst.
It is the worst. Again, we already talked about the first chapter. That was a really good one. How can I expect you to please me if I can't please myself? That's a really good point, just in sex education. That is something I think that's hard to talk to your kids about. But it is something my mom specifically said to me, which I was like, oh my God, please do not talk.
It's like, lady,
why are you talking to me about masturbation? This is so weird. It was super weird to me. And then, she gave me these books and stuff. It wasn't just about masturbation, but just about sex and sexuality. And I was just like, I don't want to talk to you about this. I don't want to talk to you about it.
You would have loved my mom.
Right. Please, let's just pretend.
Let's just never talk about
Let's just never talk about it. And of course, after the fact, I'm super grateful that she tried to open it up. But there is just always that awkwardness of like, how do you really get through to your kids? Like some of this shit, kids just are going to get on their own through their friends and through their own experiences. But I thought that was really good. Let's see. Can I put your penis in the cage? That was fun. That was the chapter where she got to do all that what is it, BDSM stuff, and King Noir, who was on their podcast.
Yes.
Have you ever seen any of his stuff?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever look it up after that, friend?
Sure did. And Jet Setting Jasmine, his wife. Yes, because they had a podcast.
I didn't ever see their podcast.
Okay,
was it
so it was decent. I don't know if they're still doing it or not.
Oh my gosh.
It was a lot for, like
every day.
Civilians.
Yes, because if you're right, because so they always talk about vanilla bitches. I'm 100% vanilla when it comes to listen. It's very standard around here.
I like that Jack Harlow thing. It's like, I'm vanilla, baby. Hey. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby.
Hey, we ain't doing all that.
Baby.
We ain't doing all that. Because I'm not going to lie, some of this shit I was disgusted. I was singing to
I don't like no whips and chains and you can't tie me down.
I don't know that, but
you can whip your loving on me, baby.
I'm a vanilla bitch just in real life. I ain't.
This
so
is
that's
interesting
fun
to learn about for sure.
It is, but in another life, maybe. It's like I feel like it's too late for me.
And that's the thing. Like historically, I've always loved a whole memoir.
Those have always never really been my gig, but this one was really good. Maybe because they were already in my heart and in my mind in their podcast and stuff like that. But that was really fun.
And I really liked their discussions on sex work.
Because they both were like, we were sex workers. Like, if we're just being honest, like, I was getting flued out.
And that's
I was getting...
what's her name? Weezy got to New York.
Yeah, she did.
Like, that was
She was a sugar baby.
Yes, she was.
Which is, basically, you have a sugar daddy. She met this older guy who...
At T-Mobile.
Working at T-Mobile or whatever, and wanted to fly her out, and... ended up, and I thought it was interesting that she used that opportunity to learn about investing because he was like an investment person. Good for you.
He was like, here, I'm gonna give you this $10K, and if you can flip it, I'll give you some more.
By a certain time, and she did.
She did.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, that was very, very I was very impressive.
Yeah, I thought so too. So these girls, that's the other thing too. Just because you like to get it in and be sexual. Like, I don't like that narrative that, like, because you're either attractive or sexually...
You have to be a bimbo.
Like, I don't like that because that's not true. And I think that, especially when we talk about, like, geishas and we talk about, even courtesans being, like, one of the oldest professions, these women don't get to these positions because they're idiots or because they don't know what's going on. Like, you learn about sociology, you learn about psychology, you learn about... history, the world. I mean, you do have to be interesting to keep.
And I mean, speaking of whole memoirs, even when I read like memoirs of empress and queens, the successful ones always had hoes on the payroll. Like they always went to the brothels and learned what was up at the brothels. If nothing else, like learning techniques on how to keep the king happy. Like, that was across ages, countries, cultures, languages. It's a recognizable pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so did you have any least favorite stories? I can tell you one of my least favorites.
Yeah.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, I wonder if it's mine. Go ahead.
It probably is.
Is it?
Were they in the car?
With the anal sex?
Oh no, that wasn't my least favorite.
Oh, okay.
So that's good though, but my least favorite was Weezy talking about her and her current beau being in the car and she was menstruating and he like fingered her.
Oh,
and then like licked his fingers.
That out.
And he was like, I love you that much, girl. I was like, I don't want that.
I don't need that kind of love.
I don't want that.
Nope.
That's not the kind of love I need.
Nope.
More power to you.
Yeah.
Weezy. That's
Once
get
again,
it how
those
you live.
are for people who like all 31 flavors. Me,
but you also
vanilla.
Yeah, like just give me, you know.
Once again, obviously, Weezy
I like some pralines in my vanilla, sometimes
like,
a little caramel, but that's it.
Yes, obviously she's on top. She's on different levels.
These are
like
tiers.
she's who you learn from.
Yes, and I don't know if I can we say it here?
She's a Pisces?
A dick gobbler.
Oh.
It's her favorite.
I would have said a head doctor, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
that
that's
too. Maybe they don't say dick gobbler anymore. No, I don't think anybody ever said that.
I was about to say that was new to me. But yes,
I was being creative.
She takes a lot of pride in her.
She's like, I love it for the first time too, because I'm gonna take you down. And I was like, wow, good for you, girl. Yeah.
Listen.
So I'm just saying, shout out to you, Weezy.
She's someone to listen to if you want to get good at that.
If you want some advice, she got some advice for you. But I didn't like the bloody fingering and him eating that off her finger.
I'm
I
glad
thought that was disgusting.
didn't remember that. Actually, if you hadn't said it, that would have been out. I wiped that from the hard drive. So
just like Mandii did her sexual abuse.
Yeah.
I don't want to remember that. Don't like it. Don't want it.
Clear. It's like Control X.
And okay, so what about what was your least? That was like, oh no, girl.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
When they were talking about anal sex, once again,
Mandii.
Her anal sex story. It was just I didn't. I'm not saying she shouldn't have told it. I didn't enjoy it.
Well, arguably, this whole book is like, you know what I mean? Because of who I am as a person, it's like, so you're just gonna be like, but that's what they do in their podcast. So that's what's interesting, because even though I wouldn't do it, here I am listening to it. And so there's some value in it, right? Like I appreciate the fact that they're being so candid, because
I just like to learn.
And I'm just nosy a little.
I just enjoy education. So that's my thing. So yeah. But
also,
do you want to take a break? Because we're getting up there.
Okay.
All right.
Let's take a break. All right, guys. So we're back from the break. And yeah, this book, honestly, for me, was a really fun deviation from the kind of books that we normally review, especially because the book comes from people that I look up to these ladies in terms of like their business acumen, and honestly just them being able to put themselves fully out there. Women are multifaceted. We're allowed to be sexual beings. We are allowed to be business people. We are able to be successful in a lot of different facets of our lives. And if I want to get busted down on the weekend, that don't mean that I can't on Monday morning show up and do my job. So I just feel like I like that they are
destigmatizing whores.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all love hoes.
I don't have I've never really had a problem with them unless they're coming from my man. So, and that was actually one of the chapters that I thought was really good for Mandii, seeing her
have roles flipped. That was, because when we read, because talking about another sex memoir we read, Video Vixen, we did, so that was quite the whole memoir.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but she, once again, I don't think she
never turned the corner, did she?
That's what I'm saying, like this was, the difference between like,
evolution.
Yes, like, am I going to serve patriarchy or am I going to serve myself?
Right. And that's not to say that like, there aren't positive things about her or whatever, but you want to, in terms of storytelling, you want to see the growth. You know what I mean? It's the difference between, so if we're talking about how we reviewed Straw and Color Purple, right? We have two women who were in a situation that was deeply so oppressive, so bad, down bad. And the difference in my mind is like, you just see the oppression of the character in Straw. You never see the glow up. You never see anything positive. We got to see Nasili reunite with her kids, learn to read, become a business owner,
Learn to see your
find
sister
love.
again.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And
there was some
Mr.
redemption.
guy was able to turn it around too. So yeah,
Show some. There has to be redemption in these stories. So I think that is what is really nice about this story, is in terms of like seeing the evolution in the many faces, like seeing the you know, the different shades. Like, it wasn't just like, okay, we're on this whole shit. It was very multi-dimensional. And so that was very nice to see. And I think that's an important message too. So shout out to you ladies. Y'all did a good job. We should rate the book then?
I think we should rate it.
Okay. I'm gonna let you go first because I hadn't thought about what I was gonna rate it. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5 lost condoms.
Ew. And if you listen to the podcast, you know why. Their podcast. If I have to rate the book, I'm giving it 4 out of 5 unicorns.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 to 5 unicorns. That was fun.
Yes. And I think women, like young women, is like the perfect target for this book, but I wish more young men would read it. That would be my wish. I know this isn't the kind of book that I notice that men tend to buy and read, but oh my goodness, if they did. And once again, I always wonder why men aren't curious about what women are thinking. Like, I think about like the men like that I get along with, they tend to be men who've really made it a point of understanding women.
Yeah, they're curious at the very least.
Yeah, like they'll read women's magazines, like they'll know what, Yeah,
that's true. I don't know. I think maybe because they're scared of what they might hear and find out. You know, like maybe they're not prepared to hear.
I sometimes think it's a deep lack of curiosity.
Oof.
I think a lot of men do feel like women
It's just not interesting.
we're so objectified they forget we have an inner life.
Oof. You can see that in the writing sometimes, in stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there's this whole thing of it's like, oh, why is this?
That is true too, and especially just even the way, because I think that like, I don't think I could convince my husband to read this book, if I'm being honest. Ain't no fucking way. Because I just think a lot of men are closed off to women who are sexually liberated. You have a certain idea, and especially, I will attribute it to our age. I'll attribute it to the way that we grew up and also just where we live. I think it's very different. I'm glad that they featured New York City as this character, like in Sex and the City, like as this third character, because New York, I think, is a very different proposition than being in Indianapolis, Indy-fucking-Anna, okay? Especially when you are talking about access and just what you experience, what you're exposed to, and just what your options and stuff are. Yeah. So yeah, like I can't expect it's like, dude, he's not getting ready to read this shit. And he'd probably be a little bit like, I think Black people are very conservative in general, I think, when it comes to stuff, especially Midwestern.
At least the ones who were able to prosper economically.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
so
as
it's
part of being in that big boule was a certain sort of, conservatism.
Conservatism.
That was necessary.
To be acceptable, which is why Tyler Perry's popular. We've gotten to that last time. So, anywho, you guys, we have to move on. We have to get out of here. So, let's do the thing we do at this time. Let's spin this wheel. Spin it.
Ooh, we are in for a treat. Okay, so we are going to be reading The Girls Who Grew Big by Fab Award winner Layla Motley.
Yay!
Why was I so hesitant with that?
I don't know. But
Layla Motley.
Whoa.
Sorry, I had to come back.
She
hard.
Harnessed her inner black granny.
Finished strong.
Okay. Yes.
Call her name through the ages.
That's right. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, so good.
So for anybody who follows us, we've read her debut novel, Nightcrawling.
So good.
Which was a sleeper hit.
Go back and look at that episode, you guys.
Yeah,
so good.
We should put that in the notes.
We should put that in the notes. I'll put a little link. So if you haven't.
Yeah, a little linky for y'all. So yeah, this is the call to action, guys. Come back.
That's right.
And listen to our review of The Girls Who Grew Big, because we're reading books. We're getting this pizza party. Okay.
Let's go. Book
summer reading, guys. And I will have to say, no hose barred. Excellent summer reading.
It was very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I will say, if you're on the prudish side, be prepared.
You read it twice.
Be prepared Be prepared.
Yeah, if you're prudish, you'll need to read this twice.
You might need to put it down a couple times.
The first one will be so shocking, and then when you go back,
then you can take in the lessons.
Yes,
yeah, maybe have a shot.
Just
be on the beach. Good beach read.
Yes, I'm saying.
Oh my God,
it is.
Yeah,
like the world is filled with pimps and hoes.
Yes.
So just know that.
Just know that they're out there, guys, and you know
that
what?
your body belongs to you.
Absolutely.
So if you want to hold some bar some holes, you can.
Yep, and if you don't, open them up. Let it
Bust
go.
it open.
Yeah, bust it wide open. All right, y'all. Have fun. Do the things you love, and we'll see you back here next week, guys. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.